California was once a symbol of American success. Today, under the radical left fascists and Marxists that run your state, that's who's running your state. Bad people. It's becoming a symbol of our nation's decline.
You know, it's interesting if you're going to talk so much trash about a state, and yet you're in the state. You ever go to a place and you're like, hey, thank you for having me, Anaheim, California, in this case. Your state sucks. I hate this place. Ew. Not always a way to get a warm welcome, but hey, it's Donald Trump. When he was inaugurated as president, he called basically America a terrible place. Amazing. So there he was, obviously talking about how supposedly this state is run by the far left. But first, he echoed again his opinion on how this state can combat California. This state can combat wildfires.
And I was with a gentleman, a very top person in Austria. He said, sir, we have more flammable trees than you do on your coast. We don't have forest fires, we have land management. They take care of the land. They pick up the dead trees. You know, a tree doesn't burn very easily unless it's dead. Then it gets dry and it burns. The leaves on the ground, they're 5 feet thick over here. They clean the floor. And everybody said, oh, how ridiculous management of a forest. You know, they all said like, what the hell? But they don't have forest fires and properly run locations. What we have is horrible. And we can actually dampen our forests with water that costs us nothing, that will come pouring down from the north. Wouldn't that be nice? If you had dampened floors, you wouldn't have forest fires. So we'll work on that too. But I couldn't convince this guy, Gavin, to do it because he's an environmental maniac, only for political reasons.
So again, I don't even know why I'm subjecting you to all those, but he once again, you know, the leaves. Trees have these things called leaves. I've seen them once, twice. So again, the leaves get dry, trees dry out. And he's floating his like, why don't you just rake it all? Gavin Newsom is extremist, even though Gavin Newsom basically spent the weekend vetoing a bunch of things that came from his state legislature, handing corporations massive victories and wins, vetoing a strike fund for striking workers. Yeah, real big leftist, but a little bit, the biggest line, Ray, from this entire ridiculous speech when it comes to talking about California, of course, which was very Duterte-esque, was when Donald Trump floated the idea that people who shoplift should be shot.
And we will immediately stop. And some people are going to say, oh, this is terrible. I can't believe it. You know, these people are killing people when they go into the stores. You'll have 300 young people who are not looking for a good future walk into a store, big department store, and just pillage it. And if you happen to be there when they're there, they'll knock the hell out of you and kill you in some cases. And we will immediately stop all of the pillaging and theft. Very simply, if you rob a store, you can fully expect to be shot as you are leaving that store. Shot.
Oh yeah, claim your mugshot T-shirt also, wanted for president. I'm sorry, Ray. Like the dissonance of a man arguing that someone who steals, like, I don't know, anything from diapers to, yeah, what a purse, should be shot, and then simultaneously market a photo of you having been indicted for a federal crime next to you and selling that T-shirt. Like, I think white privilege has reached, like, I don't know, like epic space-time continuum black hole heights that like we've never seen before.
Yeah, and I mean, it shouldn't be that much of a surprise that he's literally like, oh, shoot him, just shoot him. Because this is the guy who wanted to execute the Central Park Five after they had been exonerated for the crime that they did not commit. But to just hear him, is this a hit for the crowd? Are they feeling this? Are you enjoying the idea of, first of all, Right. I haven't actually heard of any of these, smash and grabs where someone died. I haven't heard that from any, because these stories have been sensationalized. If someone died, they would be a martyr to Fox News.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't heard of anyone dying in these large scale smash and grabs. That being said, I don't know, maybe we should look at the economic situation that these people are in that drives them towards this type of crime, because they're not just enjoying those bags for personal use, they're reselling them because they don't have any money. Like, not to say that I think that it's justified. Generally, I don't think that people should steal, but in the grand scheme of things, those large department stores are stealing a lot more money from their workers than they're having stolen from them in retail theft.
Absolutely. I don't know that this, box store fragility is just, I am so tired of the narrative. Like, oh, they're shutting down. Who cares? They've got a million other franchises. They'll be fine. Whole Foods and Nordstrom will be fine. Macy's, again, not so sure about that. But have you been to a mall lately? They're crushing themselves. Maybe if you break up Amazon, the little guys like Macy's and Target could have a chance. Man, malls are sad. Capitalism did this to itself. That's what happens when you've got monopolies, you idiots. Oh, no. Let's blame shoplifters. That's tight. So just a little bit of background. Okay, yeah, there's been a little bit more. So this is, no. Public Policy Institute of California, graphic 3, data on reported commercial shoplifting defined under Proposition 47 as entering a commercial establishment with the intent to steal property valued at less than $950 during business hours, failed to reveal evidence of increases until 2022 when the state saw a 28.7% jump from the unusually low rates of the pandemic years because everyone was inside. Even though after this sizable increase, the shoplifting rate in California remains 8% below its pre-pandemic levels. Yeah, and by the way, the big lib, radical Marxist leftist, Gavin Newsom, what did he just do? Not only did he veto a bunch of stuff that were progressive policies, he allocated like $250 million, we just covered it last week, to stopping shoplifting. Was it about job training? Was it about education? Was it about healthcare? Was it about any of the affordable housing? No, it was to stop shoplifting. California is not a liberal state. It is not run by leftists. It is run by corporatists. Thank you for coming to this. I'm not gonna say TED Talk because that's a really hack joke, but this portion of the show.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.